Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So yeah, there's been more criticism by non-Malays mostly about the film Mat Kilau and the depiction of non-Malays in that film as primarily villains or exclusively villains. The film isn't about Malaysia in 2022. The film is about Malaya during British colonialism. The people who are portrayed in the film who are villains are collaborators with the British. That included Malays, that included some of the rulers, that included Sikhs who were like 60% of the occupation force of the British. And it included the Chinese. It included everybody. It included every racial group. Who were the ones who were fighting against the British? It was the Malays, period. Period. Like you're criticizing Mat Kilau because it's historically inaccurate in some aspects. Well, it would be even more historically inaccurate if you had to invent a pro-Malay Sikh who fought against the British. It didn't happen. That didn't happen. You want to have a Sikh who's like the Brad Pitt character from 12 Years a Slave. The token good white guy in a movie about slavery. You want to have a token good Sikh in a movie about British colonialism. I mean, I'm sorry, those are the facts. This is a historical reality. So are they just not supposed to talk about this period because it's an embarrassing time in your history? But then it doesn't look like you're embarrassed about it because you don't want people who collaborated with the British to be portrayed as villains. Well, how are they supposed to be portrayed? As heroes? Of course they're going to be portrayed as villains. So I'm sorry, but I really don't advise non-Malays to push this discourse because things are going to get brought up that you don't want brought up. Things that have been left in the past. The Malays do not blame you today in 2022 for what your ancestors did. They don't blame you. Even the non-Malays who collaborated with the British to some degree can be absolved of that collaboration because of being in a subject position. But that absolution is nullified when you today are taking the same positions that your ancestors took on behalf of the British, saying that collaborators with the British shouldn't be portrayed as villains. I don't know how that isn't pro-British colonization. You understand? Leave it. If you don't like the movie, don't like the movie. You don't have to say anything about it. The overwhelming majority of Malaysians love this film. As I said in the last time I talked about this, if you can find a Sikh or an Indian or a Chinese who fought against the British, then make a movie about him. Find his name in the history books of a Sikh or any Indian or any Chinese who fought for the independence of this land. Find that person, find that name, find that character in history, and make a movie about them. We all would love to know who that person is.